What do you actually need to do to land your first consulting client? I often see people overcomplicating this, and so I want to really set the record straight. In this video, I'm going to break down for you exactly what you need to be focused on, the real things that actually make a difference, and cut out all the waste to save you time and help you to start seeing results faster. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that you want to focus on is really identifying who do you believe are the people that you can serve best. If you're just getting started in the world of consulting, you likely bring a lot of different skills, experience, track record of success. You work with lots of different people doing a lot of different things, and narrowing that down early on can be really challenging. And my recommendation to you is not to spend too much time trying to narrow that down too finely, right? Because the market is going to give you the feedback that you need. Early on, when you're starting your consulting business, to land your first client, your sole focus should just be to land your first client. It should not be to build your business. It should not be to spend time on structures and systems and tools and technology and doing everything else that you see other people doing, because most likely the people that you see doing these other things are already at a level above where you are. When you are just getting started, your sole focus should be on having conversations with your ideal clients. Why? Because conversations leads to the opportunity to identify problems that you can solve, that then means that you can position and offer your expertise or a solution to those problems. And that then leads to a proposal, which leads to you winning the business. It's not more complicated than that. People overcomplicate this because they start thinking that they need a lot more in order to create a successful business. And the reality is that yes, longer term, you will need a lot more. But just to land your first, 1, 2, 3 clients, you don't need much more than that. So first thing is to focus on and identify who do you believe that you can serve best, right? You want to get a picture of that. Now, you're not going to know right away whether your hypothesis or your belief is actually the right one, but that's okay. The name of the game early on is to decide and pick a target, a direction to go. And that direction and target might include a few different types of companies, industries, roles, titles. That's okay. But you need to figure out which direction do you want to go. The second thing that you should then be paying attention to is how to leverage your network. You likely have a lot of people in your contact database, maybe a CRM if you have one, but even if not, look at your phone book, look at the contacts in your email, think about all the people that you've worked with in the past, colleagues, bosses, vendors, friends, people that you went to school with. And another great resource for this is to go onto LinkedIn and look at all your first degree connections. Go through them. Yes, it might take some time, but what you want to do is you want to activate your network, right? So you want to think about this in this order. Number one, who do you believe are the people that you can help best? And there's a whole process to this, right? In our Clarity Coaching program, we help our clients to really get very clear on this. For those that are at the earlier stages, we have a specific part of the program just for those people. But in that area, right, you want to get very clear on who do you feel you can help best? What problems do you feel that you are best positioned to solve based on your skills and experience, right, and your expertise? And then by solving those problems, what is the result and the outcome that the buyer, right, or client will get from that? You want to create an outline of those 3 things. Again, who do you believe that you can help best? Number 2, what is the problems that you believe they have? Ideally, one main problem that you are very well positioned to solve. And then when you solve that problem, what is the outcome that they will receive? Once you have those 3 things in place, now it's time for you to start to activate your network and to reach out to everybody that you can to let them know what you are now doing, right? So in simple terms, you would say, hey, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. You put a little personal message. Can't believe it's been 6 months since we met at this conference. I want to let you know that here's what I'm now doing, where I've transitioned, I've started consulting. I'm helping these kinds of people to solve this kind of problem, to create this kind of result. Do you know anyone that could benefit from that? Or do you know anyone that I should speak to? If you want to take this a level further, go into LinkedIn, use a tool like Sales Navigator in LinkedIn, and search for the people who you believe are your ideal clients. Let's take an example. Maybe you believe that your ideal clients are VPs of marketing in a certain type of organization. Well, you'd search for those people on Sales Navigator. You'd find those people. Well, you can filter those people both by first and second degree connection. So first degree connection means you're already connected to them. Of course, you should reach out to them. Second degree connection means that somebody that you know knows that person. So now you can reach out to that person, say, the person that you know, and say, hey, I see that you're connected to Janet. Janet's a VP of marketing in this organization, and that's actually my new focus, working with these people, because I've spent the last 10 years doing this kind of stuff, helping these people create these kinds of results. And I'd love to have an introduction to Janet if you're open to it, right? Now they can make that introduction. Even if they don't make the introduction, they don't respond to you or they don't follow through, that's okay. You can now reach out to Janet and say, hey, Janet, we're both connected to Tim over at XYZ company. I see that you're doing this. I would actually love to chat with you because This is my new focus. The goal of all of this network reactivation and these conversations is not necessarily to sell people right away. The goal is to have a conversation to identify how can you add value. The problems that you believe that people have, are those the actual problems? And is the solution that you have in mind, is that the actual solution that they want, right? Or are there variations of that? Are they talking about the issue in a different way? Are they describing a result using different language? These are all the things that you will pick up on as you have conversations. That's why the more conversations you have early on, the better. You take that information from the conversations that you're having, and now you update your messaging. So as you go to more people inside of your network and you reach out to more secondary connections, you can now use the language that you're hearing from people. If you talk, let's say, 3 different industries or 3 different roles, right? Let's just say that for a moment, for this example, you might find that in those conversations, one of those 3 is telling you that, yes, this is a big issue right now in our industry. This is where I'm fully focused. For the next year, I'm going to need to figure this out. And maybe the other 2 people that you talk to are saying, yeah, we're actually pretty good. Our bigger issue right now is something completely different outside of your area of expertise. Well, that's important information for you to have, because now you can say, well, those other 2 industries or types of companies or types of job titles, right, roles, I'm not going to focus on those because it doesn't seem like there's as much interest there, but there's a lot of interest in this one area. So I'm going to go all in on that. That's the feedback the market will give you if you're having conversations and if you're listening to what people are telling you. So now you can update your messaging and you can go back to your network. You can go to your secondary connections. You can even start to do more direct outreach, reaching out to people and saying, I've been having a lot of conversations with VPs of marketing in this type of industry, and I'm hearing that X is right now the big issue. Is that something that is also top of mind for you? Because I have a resource that I put together that I shared with this other person. I'm happy to send it your way if you'd like. Now, the more that you do this kind of outreach, and then you do follow-up and you leverage your network and you do secondary connections, you're going to start to see all kinds of opportunities popping up. You're going to find that people are saying yes to having a conversation with you, want to receive the content that you created on those topics. But if you're not having the conversations, you're likely going to be floundering around wondering, what should I do? Because you're trying to spray and kind of pray, right? You're putting out a lot of different stuff to a lot of different people and there's no focus. Early on, it's okay to be a bit more flexible there, but the goal is to have as many conversations as you possibly can and to then course correct, fine tune, refine, adjust your messaging, your ideal client, so that you can then target and be very clear about, here's the type of person that I'm focused on working with. Here's the main problem that I know that they have that I can solve, that I'm world class at solving. And here's the result and the outcome and the value that I can create and deliver for them based on, again, my years of experience doing this. So that's what you need to focus on at a high level, right? Within that, of course, there's a lot more that you can do. But what I often see people doing, and this is the big mistake, and this is what I'm sharing with you right now, is that people will overcomplicate this and they'll start thinking about, oh, I need to do all these fancy lead generation campaigns. I need to do, all this fancy social media stuff. I need to spend days and days and days on LinkedIn just sharing content. The name of the game in consulting, guys, this is why it's so important that you don't overcomplicate this. The number one focus that you should have is conversations. We take all of our clients in our Clarity coaching program through something called the magic number exercise. What the magic number exercise is it gives you a number. It helps you to figure out, it reverse engineers what your goal is for revenue and growth. And it helps you to figure out how many people do you actually need to reach out to and have a conversation with every single week. When you focus on that one number, I've seen consistently that people are able to achieve and exceed their growth goals. You don't need to overcomplicate. We had a client, his name is Doug. You can go to consultingsuccess.com, click on client results. You'll see the case study of Doug specifically, as well as hundreds of additional case studies, testimonials, videos from clients that we worked with over the years. And Doug came to us when he was doing about $400,000 per year in revenue. He's actually the past president of the BC Cancer Foundation. He's a very smart, very wonderful guy. Well, Doug figured out his magic number, and then we helped him with a plan and a strategy. And fast forward about 18 months, and Doug went from $400,000 in revenue to over $2 million in revenue. And he's continued to grow his business from there, just by focusing and knowing, what to actually do to achieve that level of consistent conversations. For those of you who are just getting started, wondering, what do I need to do to land my first few clients? Have conversations. Always think about what is the most direct path that I need to take right now to have more conversations. All the other stuff can be helpful, but if you can have conversations, as you should be having conversations, that's where your focus should be on. Don't go out and spend a bunch of money on fancy CRMs. Don't try and get all the fancy project management. Don't worry about all the accounting softwares. Don't spend a bunch of money on fancy social media or funnel building or this, that. You don't need all that stuff. What you need is to identify who you believe you can add the most value for. What is the main problem that you believe they have, and validate that that's actually the problem, or figure out what is the other problem that they care about, that they're willing to invest. And more so right now, it's really important that the problem that you're solving should not be a nice to have. It should be a must have. If the problem that you're solving is a nice to have, you will find that your sales cycle will be extended. It'll be much longer. You'll find that people will hesitate to make buying decisions. You will find that they will put things off and delay. Whereas when you identify a must-have, something that is mission critical to their business, to their organization, whether they're for-profit or non-profit, whether they're a small company or a large company, when you figure out what in their mind is a must-have that they need to solve, that they need a solution for, and they're willing to make an investment because the value of solving that is critical for them, or it's really, it's key, that's when you find the buyers are willing to say yes. So your job is to position yourself based on your years of experience, your skill set, your expertise, your track record. Ask yourself, what is the problem or problems that you are world-class and well-positioned to solve? And what is the result of solving those problems? You take those kind of hypotheses, you go to the market, you have conversations, and then you validate and you adjust and you collect the findings from those conversations, because it will tell you, you will see the common thread running through. You will hear over and over again what people want to solve and what they want help with. That is the gap that you need to fill. And once you have that, that can now extend into everything that you do. You can update your website with that messaging. You can update your LinkedIn profile with that messaging. You can target the right kinds of people because you know who the people are that have that problem. You can create content that speaks directly to that type of problem and that result and outcome and value that you can create. You can look for speaking opportunities, again, targeting the right people. You can look for writing and publishing opportunities, again, that are targeting the right people. Now, early on, you can do all those things as well, but there will be a lot of waste, meaning that you'll be extending yourself to get in front of people and they may not be the right people, but that's okay, because what you always want to think about in the early days is putting yourself in a position to be in front of potential ideal clients. And the more that you do that, the more that you will learn whether these are actual ideal clients or not. So in the early days, go to as many networking events as you can, go to as many conferences as you can, try and speak, get on panels, write articles or content for different publications and trade associations that you believe your ideal clients are part of or consume. Leverage your network. Go to secondary connections, go to first degree connections. Once you've validated some of this, start to do direct outreach. This will create more conversations for you. And as you have more conversations, you will be able to spot the problems that people have and the solution that you can provide to solve those problems. And then you extend your offer. You let them know what it might look like for you to solve that problem for them and how you've done it before in other relevant ways. And even if you haven't done it as a consultant before, you've likely done it in one shape or form as an employee. And so you have that experience. Talk about what you've done. Maybe offer to do it in a creative way. Come up with a discovery offer, a starting point, rather than a massive six-figure engagement right out of the gate. Maybe you're looking at something that is $5,000 or $10,000. That's totally fine. Start somewhere. Get your foot in the door. Deliver value. Don't hold back what you know. Share as much of that value as you can, as quickly as you can, with everybody around you. The more value that you put out into the marketplace, even when you're not getting paid, the more that you will see comes back to you. Why? Because when people know that you can deliver great value, they're going to reach out to you because they're going to think in their minds, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about. Look how much value they're giving. Imagine what it would be like to work with them. When they know that you are an expert, when they know that you're delivering value in a specific area, when they have that problem or they know somebody that has that problem or wants a solution in that area, do you think they're going to spend time trying to find somebody else who they haven't never heard of before? Or are they going to come to you because you've been so consistent and prolific with sharing value, sharing content? So the more that you can do of that at the same time, that is great. But, and this is a huge but, right? A really important one is that you should make sure that the vast majority of your efforts are focused on creating conversations. If you just spend days and hours over and over creating content and you're just putting it out on LinkedIn and you're not getting much traction from it, that's not the best use of your time. Yes, you should be creating content. Yes, you should be finding ways to leverage that content and get it in front of your ideal clients, but that should not replace you being intentional and targeting and reaching out to your ideal clients through your network reactivation, through going to secondary connections, connections and targeting people. Your sole focus, or I should say your main focus, should be on having conversations. Everything that you do, every activity, every minute of time that you're spending inside of your business, you should be asking yourself, if you're early stage, what can I do right now to have conversations with my ideal clients? The more conversations you have, the more opportunities you will find to make offers and to essentially extend your expertise and offer your expertise to the people that can benefit from it. And that's how you win more business. All right, if you want more information on how to grow your consulting business, just click the link below this video, grab our free consulting blueprint, or head over to consultingsuccess.com, where you'll find all kinds of resources. In addition to the Consulting Success podcast, we have hundreds and hundreds of articles, studies, and resources to help you to grow your consulting business.